Well, what a glorious day. My name is Lisa Robinson, and I am here to interview a wonderful group of people and let them explain what their Enlightened Education nonprofit is all about. And we first want to talk to Will Bronson, who is the founder and had the great idea of this. So, Will, tell us a little bit about what this nonprofit is all about.
Okay, Lisa.
And who you are.
All right. Yes, I'm Will Bronson. I'm retired. I thought I was retired until this came along. But going back a bit, after I finished college, I went in the Navy and enlisted, ended up at Pensacola, and 5 years later, when I got out, I was hired by Northeast Airlines that was looking for pilots at the time due to the shortage due to the war in Vietnam. And Delta Airlines bought us out a few years later, and I flew for 25 years with Delta Airlines, retiring in 1991. But just as I started my aviation career, I thought I was going to go into teaching, so I enrolled at Suffolk University in Boston and did a Master's of Arts in Education. And later worked on a project in Boston in 1980 under the auspices of the Boston Finance Commission on a project to change the direction of the funding in the public schools in Boston. And during those 25 years, I also ran for Congress 3 times, so I became quite involved in politics. But more specifically, after I retired, I was teaching skiing, which was always fun, and also was the founding president of Portsmouth Christian Academy in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And then I spent some time with Kinnebunk Christian Academy as well. But when I came to Florida, I remarried, and my wife of 16 years passed about 2 years ago, and I began to think, how do I want to spend my remaining time on Earth? And the issue of education kept coming back to my mind, and how we can solve this Gordian knot, this dilemma that we have of being a great country but lagging so far behind other industrialized nations in terms of the success of our public school education. And we prepared a flyer recently that really tells it all, and it asks the question, what's America's greatest asset? And you would have to say it's the next generation. And then the question follows, where will 85% of them receive their education? And that will be in the public schools. So how can we help these children realize their dream? Well, it's clear we need to help and support the public schools. And so then the question comes, how can we best do that? And after discussing this issue, this question with many friends who were in the teaching profession, Margot, who was here, and Bob, and others, it became clear that the thing that teachers most want is additional help in the classroom, more boots on the ground, another adult who can help carry the load, because teachers today are really overwhelmed with the burdens that are brought into the classroom by children, many of them from lower income families who are living under a lot of financial stress. And today with the COVID virus, we can see how fragile our economic system is for most Americans, and how fragile our food chain is, etc. So we thought that the best way we could make a difference in the public schools would be to recruit retired teachers who would love to work on a part-time basis, not a full-time basis, but on a part-time basis. And we would like to pay them about $25 an hour to work with the teachers and their students in the public school classroom. So that's really the heart of what we're doing. But in conjunction with that, we also want to develop a robust after-school program that would focus on the arts and athletics and mentorships, training in trades that aren't going to be offshored or automated so that children can look forward to a productive future. So at this point, I'll pass the ball on to my colleague, Robert Eden, who has a wealth of experience in nonprofit organizations, working and developing them in Georgia, his home state. And after he retired, he went back in the classroom and saw firsthand what the needs are. So Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you see this playing out?
Okay, that was quite an introduction for Will, no doubt. I would be inclined to say that the robust after-school program is an understatement. What we have come up with is, what do kids really want? How can we teach them with what is called experiential learning so that they enjoy what they're doing and that they are entertained while they're learning? And as a matter of fact, most of my experience going all the way back to, I don't know, the 70s and 80s with programs for disadvantaged children, known to many people as the Head Start program. I wrote millions of dollars worth of grants for that program. What it was doing was trying to teach children how to learn. And that's kind of where this is headed. But we want to take the children into a new zone. We want them to see learning as an experience that can be fun and not a whole bunch of boring tests. And in addition to the idea of the teacher assistance program, which Will just talked a little bit about, we would like to offer them all kinds of opportunities for learning all about how to grow food and what that means. We want to focus on food in terms of the joy of actually planting seeds in the ground. And then we would move into teaching them all about how to be healthy and how to be fit. Food and fitness would be two of the major things that we're doing. And then we would move into teaching them all about energy. What is solar energy? What is wind power? And we would move into teaching them about how to be an entrepreneur and what a micro enterprise is. And then we would teach them about the environment itself, about Mother Earth. And then I could go on, but this chart here tells many of the things that we're planning to do. And that's a capsule of what we're planning to do with the robust after-school program.
And who can be involved in this, Robert? People are probably saying, well, how can my kid get involved? Who will be involved? Will it be in a certain area? Will we have to live in that area?
Well, right now we're in Lee County in Southwest Florida, and we are focused on this community, but we intend to franchise this concept and build what are called community universities, but we put that word together and made it into communiversities. And those communiversities will be put in different geographical areas all around the nation. And they will teach, like, a franchise would, the kinds of concepts that will change consciousness, that will enlighten the children. And the name Enlighten Education is all about teaching kids things so they can survive, teaching life skills. And that's where we're headed with this project.
And let me also add that we also want to lighten the burden for the existing teachers who are struggling so much. And it's 1 out of 4 teachers is gone within 4 years, and 60% are gone within 10 years. That's why a very small percent actually end up collecting a pension, because they have to serve between 5 and 10 years to fund their pension. And then if they go on to some other type of work, as many of them do, they still wouldn't collect a meager pension until age 60. But maybe, Margot, you could address that, having been a teacher in Brooklyn for many years and still teaching, and give us your perspective on what's going on in the classroom and why our program is so necessary.
Okay.
My name is Margaret Morris, and I am a retired teacher from New York City. I moved to Southwest Florida in 2016, and there I met Will Bronson and Bob Eden. I found out that they both have a dream, and this dream was to put retired teachers into the classroom. So I came on board with them and became one of their team members. And we have decided that this was a very good idea to put retired teachers in the classroom because we all know with the education system today, it's getting so unbearable for the teachers. So with the help of the retired teachers in the classroom, there are several benefits that we could gain from this. One of the things that the retired teacher will bring to the classroom is to alleviate the burden of the teacher in the classroom, in the sense that we could work on a one-to-one basis with the student, and this will also facilitate a positive learning experience for the students. As retired teachers in the classroom who have experience, we would be able to find out the needs of the students. We'll know their shortcomings and we'll be able to work with them when we talk about a one-to-one basis. We could also help with the classroom management, help the teacher, because when you have an extra individual manpower in the classroom, children tend to, be a little more respectful in the sense that you're there to help, they know that you're there to help.
Margaret, as a retired teacher, tell us a little bit about why other retired teachers would like to be a part of this idea and this co-op.
Well, as a teacher, whether you're retired or not, you will always be enthusiastic about helping students. Students will be so happy to have you in their presence because you will also be able to help them to help tutor them with their lessons and develop their learning skills. And you will also be able to help them outside of the classroom in the sense that you could have develop a good rapport with them, find out their wants and needs, and able to assist them better with their schoolwork.
Well, that's very exciting because I have a 16-year-old daughter who is a sophomore in high school. And some of the things that she comes home to tell me is they have a little bit of fear of going up to the teachers, approaching them. She gets very nervous because there's not that interactive one-on-one going on, which you're saying that you would supply with having retired teachers and more than one and an assistant in the classroom. So
definitely, and as you're in the classroom and you're not the lead teacher in the classroom, and as you move around in the classroom, you will be able to see what they're doing to keep them alert, on the ball, and find out about their shortcomings. You give them the one-to-one attention, and that will help them to improve in their learning.
Well, that's exciting because I know children today have a lot of anxiety about school and testing, and that's fear-based.
Definitely.
And you can't learn anything with fear-based. So it would be lovely to see the anxiety brought down, the trust brought back into the classroom.
Definitely. And you develop a good rapport with the student.
Also, children learn better when they're learning things they want to learn. And kids are so involved with media today, and this is why I think Conrad can play a very important role in helping these kids learn how to use media to their advantage and to find ways they can become involved in television, film, the arts, like dancing, music, acting. Tell us a little bit about how you see that.
Well, my name is Conrad Joshua, and I joined the group and was interested in what they are doing. And I used to do modeling in New York City. So I think it will be a great idea to bring that to the kids and teaching them how to groom themselves, how they carry themselves when they go out into the workplace so they look presentable, because the world, there's a lot of competition and you gotta look the part.
So, Bob, tell us about the partnership with Healthy Harvest Community Farms and what we hope to do there.
Wonderful. Healthy Harvest Community Farms right here. They are very much involved with us. They have a project right now where they're growing all kinds of food. They're bringing children out to the garden. They're teaching kids all about how to grow plants, how to grow vegetables, how to grow fruit. And we're going to expand on that very idea, and we're going to involve it with greenhouses and keyhole gardens and raised bed gardens. But we're going to expand it even more and get into aquaponics. And we're working right now with Eunomia Partners, which is under the umbrella of the Andrew Young Foundation in Atlanta. And they have built 4 aquaponics stations, farms in different parts of the world, and they're going to build one here. And we will teach children all about aquaponics. We're working with another group regarding hydroponics, and we've got 4 trailers, and we're going to convert those 4 trailers into hydroponic stations, and we're going to use those as classrooms to demonstrate how to grow things hydroponically, as well as create income streams. And then that will grow into a whole lot of other things that we will focus on regarding sustainability and teaching kids about solar power and teaching kids about wind power. And we just see that experiential education is the key to getting people that are, dealing with whatever they're dealing with, whatever shortcoming they might have, they can create for themselves enterprises that creates income for them. And in the future, we see sustainability as being a very vital part of where we're headed with the whole nation, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, my understanding is that the models that we're looking at in aquaponics and hydroponics have a 3-year return on investment, which means that they're very effective at creating local, healthy, sustainable food production.
And creating jobs.
With the current pandemic is extremely important.
Essential workers, right? We saw, because of the COVID-19 and the pandemic, who the real essential workers are. And that is, the farmers, the truck drivers, the people who work in the grocery stores, doctors, nurses. These are the essential people. And, kids are getting a little bit worried about what am I going to be one day? Because they see that robots are taking over a lot of the manufacturing. So by teaching them how to be self-sufficient entrepreneurs, that's going to help them to realize that, hey, I can grow food at home, or I can do this as a job and make a decent living for my family. So that's another issue that's really exciting. And why a co-op? Will, tell us why.
Well, a co-op model, business model, is a cause in itself. Besides education, our other major interest and focus is to show how the worker co-op economic model, business model, can be effective within the nonprofit world. And being a nonprofit and being a worker co-op is the best of all worlds, because our team members have a great deal of flexibility, but they're also invited to take part in the decision making. Our books are transparent. Everybody knows on what page we're on. We're modeled after the Mondragon Industries, and if you go on our website to our resource page, you'll see many links to how effective worker co-ops can be to provide futures for kids beyond the big box stores and the food industry. We want them to have a vision of entrepreneurship, and the worker co-op model provides that. And also, I'd like to say a word about some of the videos we have on our website. In particular, Diane Ravitch has a wonderful speech she gave in Santa Fe, New Mexico not long ago, where she explains the critical needs that are out there to improve our public school system. And we feel that by approaching it in a positive way and offering assistance, non-judgmental assistance, by providing more boots on the ground in the classroom, is the most direct and effective way that we can help both the teachers and the students and our seniors who are looking to contribute. They have great experience. They've been in the trenches for many years, and we would like to bring them back, albeit on a part-time basis, and pay them for their work. This isn't a project that will be run with volunteers. As important as volunteers are, we want this to be a nonprofit business, a public-private collaboration. And we invite you to visit our website. You can contribute by using the donate button or contacting us through the website, and all contributions are tax deductible. And we'd love for you to come. And if you're watching this video, you're probably seeing it on our website, although it will also be posted on YouTube. And but explore the great people that we have posted, explaining how critical it is that we find a way to provide better results in our public schools today, and why the worker co-op model is part of that solution.
And as a worker co-op, we will generate a number of micro enterprises that can generate income. And we will teach the children how to be entrepreneurs, but we will also give them opportunities for them to make money. And that's what we hope the whole project in the long run will be, because we will actually multiply this idea or replicate this idea in multiple different geographic areas around the nation. And we will create communiversities. And these kinds of campuses will allow us to teach what we're trying to teach and change consciousness about learning and change consciousness about Mother Nature and about the ecology, things that relate to how children are not only being fed by the soil, but also about how they can take that idea and be like what we're calling the pioneer farm. We'll be teaching them a different way of thinking about where their culture may have come from. We'll do a lot of cultural enrichment training and teaching, and if they came from the background from a different country, we can teach them about that and teach them how the people in those different countries live. I've been all over the world and I've seen how people live in Honduras, or how they live in India, or how they live wherever. And we would teach them those kinds of things so that there's a diversity in their mindset and that they are able to grasp the wonder of living in the United States, the real glorious opportunities we have here. And that's kind of where we're headed with a lot of what we will be teaching.
And let me say, I would like to extend a warm welcome for any of you who can take part in this vision to contact us and join us. And as we're able, we will employ you. And following the Mondragon model, Mondragon Industries from Basque, Spain, the father of all co-ops, we will have a minimum wage of $15 an hour. The maximum wage is a factor of 6. In other words, the top administrators will be making no more than $90 an hour. And our teachers, we hope to pay in the area of $25 an hour. And that will vary, of course, based on their experience. But this is not a volunteer effort. This is a paid job that we're offering. And we will hire people as the resources become available to us. Couldn't be a better time to be soliciting money from from the private sector.
Giving
There are
back.
some downsides to income inequality that we all know of, but on the upside, there's been a large number of people who've taken the Giving Pledge. With help like that, we can hire teachers all over the country, and it'll be as simple as a teacher contacting their local school board or principal, superintendent, and seeing if there's a teacher who would like assistance and hooking up with them. We hope to have on our website this kind of matching service that will match people geographically and in terms of their interests with other teachers, retired teachers with teachers who are currently working in the classroom. And by making that connection, then they just submit invoices to us, and as long as the partnership, the teamwork is going smoothly, we will pay those invoices accordingly. So that's the business model that we've created for this organization, and I feel that it has the best possibility of growth and success.
Awesome. So exciting. I hope everyone takes a look at the website, enlighteneducationcoop.org.